Greetings, everybody. I am the Quest Master, the creator of Quest for Lubok. Greetings, everybody. I'm happy to be here today. I hope you are all enjoying your wonderful Thursday afternoon. It's a beautiful, sunny, hot day over here in Edmonton, and I can only imagine it's going to get way, way hotter. And I'm going to die from heat exhaustion because yesterday was a crazy day, let me tell you. Tons of yard work, spent time with the kids outside. I even finished up the new portion of the game called the Swamp. And the Swamp to me it's a place of death and decay, but from it shows the shadows and the parallels between our world and the world within the game, which is completely fictional. Now, if you're not familiar with Quest for Lubok, or who I am, for instance, like I don't matter. I'm a nobody. But the game Quest for Lubok is a fantasy exploration game. It is 100% text based. Think about like a game like Zork or, A Mind Forever Voyaging or, those really cool text adventures from the old school days on shareware floppies or BBSs. Now, the whole point of the Swamp, I always like having the ideal of something mirroring our very own society. Now, within this point of the game, you find that there's monsters called merbeasts. They're just giant walking fishmen who are mutated, who walk in such a way that it looks like their flesh is going to fall off their bones. They come out of the water. They eat those travelers who are foolish enough to go get lost. It is the entire concept of the dangers of wandering in a swamp. Now, within this swamp, with all these monsters, there's a giant plant creature that just roams around in the background. You never really interact with it, but it's there. Almost as if it's trying to live its own existence by itself, away from all the confines of everybody, away from the whole ideal of, a giant carnivorous plant that's able to fully move on its own freely, that it is void of wanting to interact with you. A lot of games will actually have you go up against this creature whatsoever, but I like the idea of a giant carnivorous plant capable of free movement and thought to want to leave you alone. It's that whole concept of that like, yeah, there's someone over there, something over there, whatever. I'm just gonna leave it alone. I want no trouble. And that's the kind of thing that is with this plant. And you look into this whole area, you come across a witch, you come across a fisherman, you come across the ferryman, the captain of this ferry boat, and it is extremely, extremely depressing and bleak. The whole community that has resided in this village, in this swamp, is dead. They all died out. They all faded away to obscurity. It's nothing more than graves and a few lone survivors. And within this community, they forged a religion of for them, which is of peace and allowing to survive and helping those in need. Worshiping the earth and stuff like that. But within this area, they all die one by one. And then there's a lone survivor within this area. And the realization comes that, this one loyal, devout follower realizes, hey, I wasted my life. Now, that would be like within any community in the area, like any community on the planet, that if they were able to do that, that it would be that would be the realization, is that like, oh, my whole community's gone. We had this religion, we had this faith, this belief. I'm the last person left. Boy, did I waste my life, kind of ordeal. I'm not saying that religion is a waste of time or someone's life or whatsoever, but it's that realization that these people who practiced it and were so devout, and now they're all dead. The whole idea and the whole basis of them surviving within this place by themselves, they don't want to leave because everyone they loved and knew is buried there. They don't want to leave because, they've already given up every inch of their life. It's over. So that's the whole concept of the swamp, and the whole basis of it is that if a society collapses or society is obliterated, all its old teachings, its old beliefs, its old religions, its whole way of life is meaningless. The only people that would find it to be meaningful or somewhat interesting are the people that wander around and, hey, look what I discovered. You know, that's the whole concept of the swamp. It's the ideology of people who wanted to do good in the world and slowly succumb to illness, disease, death, being feasted upon by mer beasts. Maybe the giant plant creature in the background decided it was hungry, ate everybody. You'll never know because you were never there to begin with to see it all unfold. You just see the last shred of wheat. I'm going to call the guy or girl wheat because it's that last. It's like the last blade of grass on a freshly mowed lawn. It towers over all that prevails it, that surrounds it. But in the end, it can't do anything. It's by itself. It's alone. It knows it's going to get chopped up. It knows it's not going to last long because it'll be scorched by the sun or, or birds or whatever, right? But that's the whole concept of the swamp. It's that ideology. It's mankind's greatest fear. And the greatest fear of mankind is to be forgotten. You look around to anybody, you ask them, what's your greatest fear? Of course they'll say death or, whatever. But if they say death, that's because they're afraid of being forgotten. That's why you see a lot of these idiots out there who try to build themselves up on a pedestal, who try to make themselves stand out from the rest. May it be a work project, school project, within the game industry or software industry. They try to build themselves up to such a high standard and a high level, even, in the business world too, in movies and whatnot, that they want to make themselves seem untouchable. They want to look over and be like, hey, I'm the one that's the best within this whole group. I'm the greatest one here, because they want to be remembered, because once they die, 20 years from now, no one's going to care. Look at all the great movies that were made 40 years ago. People don't even really watch those movies anymore or play those games. The whole idea is that people want to be remembered. And once people realize at the end of their lives, A, they're not going to be remembered, B, they wasted their life, and C, they're going to die alone, then they start to realize that, hey, they screwed up. The whole concept of life in a nutshell is revolved around the swamp. It's a complete 180. It's taken, a lot of it is taken from the small communities and small tribes and small groups of people that lived upon this planet for, centuries. And then one day they just up and vanish. And all we have left are these empty shells of buildings and ruins and temples. And we have no idea what happened. Because it's a very similar thing, is that people like to think that the end of society is going to be a society that is completely ruined by war or famine. But what if all of a sudden people are just like, well, you know what? This didn't work out. Let's just go. That's the whole concept, right? Is that the biggest mysteries known to mankind within our entire civilization, our whole span of civilization, is that it's usually the simplest answer. And that's why within the swamp, you're going around, it's like, wow, all these graves. There's all this ruin and like decay and death. I wonder what happened here. No, they just all died out, They all died out. They got picked off one by mer beasts. And that's the whole concept of the entire area of the swamp. And that's kind of my take on the entire situation within our world. In 20,000 years from now, it doesn't matter what we did or what happened, because we would all be dead. Nobody's going to care 20,000 years from now. How many great emperors and kings and queens and rulers have been on this planet that no one knows anything about because they're dead. It doesn't matter. And that's why I love Quest for Lubok, is because Quest for Lubok it's that in a nutshell. It's its own metaphor for life. Yes, this is my life's work. Yes, I'm enjoying doing this, and I'm reliving this, discovering this passion of creation, of programming, of telling a story, of being free to express myself. Yes, that matters and that's really great. But who outside of you listening to this video or you reading my blog or playing a little bit of it online or reading the source code, who outside of that even knows it exists? It's the greatest thing ever. It is the perfect balance between human existence and one person try to do something that they love and tell a great story. That is why I'm doing this. And that is why I love this portion of the game. You know, I love this entire game. I don't care if there's portions of it, if sections of it where people are bored playing with it. I don't care because I love those parts. Every room is different. Every step is unique. Every character tells a story. Every object you interact with has a purpose. Everything down to the last decimal in this game world is perfect to me. And that's what I love. And I hope you guys enjoy this game too. Like, I really want to inspire people. I want to bring forth a new revolution of gaming. See, that only matters to me. I'm the only person that cares about that. You know, you might not. You might want to go play EA games or Activision games or Blizzard games and spend thousands of dollars and get nowhere in life or in your game. That's great. You know, that's great. That's perfect. Go do that. But for me personally, I'm going to sit back in my chair, working on Quest for Lubok, drinking generic soda, and just having fun. So with that being said, go check out my GitHub. You'll find the source code for the swamp, the new portion. Check it out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share these videos. If you haven't gone already, you can play the game online. Go to questforlubok.org. You'll find the link in the title, not the title, in the banner or whatever. It'll say play online. There, you can also check out the GitHub. You can follow me on Twitter there. You can check out my Reddit. There's nothing really there for the time being. I'm just posting whatever I do. You know, let's be friends. Let's have fun. Let's go on adventures, and let's just remember that we're all human beings in this world, and we all have a purpose in life, and that purpose is to have fun and to be unique and to have a great adventure. With that being said, everybody, good day. I'm the Questmaster. So long. See ya. Take care. Goodbye. And I'll see you next time. Peace.